This is THV 11 News at 6.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Brooke Buckner.
And I'm Faith Woodard. We start tonight with a follow-up on downtown parking in Hot Springs, as now the board of directors are discussing what, if anything, should change.
The night that story aired, the board of directors had a parking work session. And tonight, THV 11's Tanya Motorzitsky hears what options people and business owners may have following that meeting.
When we first shared downtown Hot Spring workers' frustrations about paying to park, many, like About Rock's manager Rebecca King, wondered if their concerns would reach City Hall.
Give us some real parking, actual reserved areas for our spots where it's safe and actually has adequate lighting.
Those thoughts were echoed in the comments on our Facebook post. Locals saying they refuse to go downtown because of the parking meters. On Tuesday evening, not long after the story aired, city leaders held a work session focused on parking. It's where they shared that they've only made $600,000 in parking revenue in 10 months. Their goal was $1.5 million.
Revenue in pays for the various expenses, Exchange Street parking garage, 2 employees, all the various technology, the components.
Coming up short of the city's goal led to the board of directors to discuss ways to come up with the parking revenue in hopes of using the funds to build a parking garage to help.
Staff is recommending to start with that $20 per month.
If it's $20 a month, that's $1 a day. I mean, there's 20 work days in most months.
One board of director recommended putting the parking tab on the employer.
As far as the employees, $2 a day is doable, and I think any employer who has a viable business could afford to pay for their employees if their employees can't afford that.
They also looked at increasing the rate for visitors.
Why don't we just make it $5 an hour? And it's people are confused by well, I pay this much today. They don't understand. Nobody's going to park there all day, and if they do, we'll make money on it.
Like it.
In Hot Springs, I'm Tanya Motorzitsky, THV 11 News.
Thank you, Tanya. Now, those changes were not voted on at that meeting. The board of directors says there are still a few things to discuss before putting it to a vote.
Chief Meteorologist Tom Brannon joining us at the desk. Tom, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. Yay. Yeah. I was going to tie into the Hot Springs thing. It was a gorgeous day to be down in Oaklawn in Hot Springs.
It was.
Yes.
They should have had a record crowd today with high temperatures close to 70. Actually, we made it to 70 here. That's
And
where
now
we're going to
look
start.
at it.
Yeah, look at you guys. Right. Yeah, we're going to cool off. We had our best opening day of the year here with temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Enjoy it. It's going to go away for a little while. We do have rain chances in your forecast. Looking at a beautiful sight outside. There's not a whole lot of traffic out here on the interstate tonight, but there may be some heading out to dinner tonight. Here's what your numbers look like. 60 Little Rock. It's 62 Hot Springs. A little cooler in Jonesboro, 48. Clinton, 50. And Queen, 55 degrees. So temperatures are dropping off and they'll fall back into the upper 40s with clouds continuing to thicken up. And tomorrow morning when you wake up with Tracy Bean, there may be a little shot of rain moving across the region. Don't be surprised. It's not going to last long. There's not a whole lot of rain in the forecast for Friday and early Saturday. Our temperatures will drop off from the upper 60s and 70s into the mid 50s for Saturday and lower 50s on Sunday. We've got some other changes to talk about, including better chances of rain in the forecast. Not the white stuff, not the wintry stuff, the liquid variety for late next week. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Tom. At the stroke of midnight, a flurry of new laws took effect in Arkansas and around the country.
They impact everything from SNAP food benefits to online subscriptions. And tonight, Bradley Blackburn shares all the legal changes we need to know heading into 2026.
When the ball dropped in Times Square, millions of Americans got an instant pay raise. In 19 states, the minimum wage increased with the start of 2026. Nationwide, it amounts to a $5 billion earnings boost for workers, according to the Economic Policy Institute. At many grocery stores, SNAP food benefits will no longer cover things like candy and sugary sodas. Restrictions are now in place in 5 states and expand to 18 by the fall, with the support of Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
It's about nutrition, and there's no nutrition in these products.
Some trade groups and grocers say it could increase prices for everyone with limited benefit to public health. In Georgia, a new law aims to help people prepare for natural disasters by opening catastrophe savings accounts that can grow tax-free.
Here in New York, it's now easier to ditch online subscriptions. Companies are required to make the process of canceling as simple as signing up.
Also in New York State, styrofoam coolers are on ice. It's now illegal to sell the chests, which could take centuries to decompose. Hotels in Illinois are now barred from giving out those little shampoo bottles. They're being pushed to switch to refillable pumps. And in Virginia, social media companies are required to limit users younger than 16 to 1 hour per day. But parents can raise or lower that time. Lawmakers say it can help kids.
You see how much it hinders their ability to do well in school, and you see how much it hinders their socialization with their friends.
New habits in the new year by law. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And here in Arkansas, some of those taking effect today impact taxes, public benefits, and state agencies. Act 948 bans state agencies from hiring, quote, unauthorized aliens. Act 708 tightens unemployment rules, requiring people receiving benefits to report at least 5 work search contacts each week. And one of the biggest changes you'll notice, Act 1008 removes the remaining portion of the state grocery sales tax, though local taxes still apply. There's a full breakdown of what else kicks in today on THV11.com and the THV11 app.
Act 628 mandates health benefit plans to cover medically necessary treatment for severe obesity, including bariatric surgery, but does not require coverage for weight loss medications. THV11's Carter Thweet is speaking to doctors about how it will impact them and patients, and we'll have more tonight at 10.
Another state law is impacting 911 dispatch centers by reducing the number of them from 127 to 77. The change comes from the Arkansas Public Safety Act, also known as Act 660, which was passed in 2019.
One of those impacting Fort Smith and Sebastian counties, who are now required to combine their 911 dispatch centers into what will be called the River Valley Communication Center. Nothing changes when you call 911. The change happening now is behind the scenes. The long-term plan was to build a brand new building with a $5.3 million radio tower and equipment package, but Executive Director Wes Millam says funding challenges have put that project on hold.
Facility plans are on hold for now. I am still continuing to look for ways to raise funds and to locate a site for the River Valley Communication Center to fully be a standalone facility within the next 2 years.
Full consolidation is expected to take place in July when Sebastian County dispatchers are brought under the same roof as Fort Smith dispatchers.
Well, millions of Americans will be paying more for health insurance this year. That's because tax credits that help people pay for plans on the federal marketplace, known as Obamacare, have expired. KFF estimates 24 million people signed up for insurance through the Affordable Care Act in 2025. Of those enrollees, roughly 92% receive subsidies. Without those tax credits, KFF says average annual premium costs could rise by 114%, but many states have expanded the income qualifications for Medicaid. And the deadline to sign up for insurance on the Affordable Care Act is January 15th.
Community members in Little Rock are calling for change and more peace in 2026. The annual Say McIntosh Stop the Violence prayer vigil took place this morning on the corner of Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and Daisy Bates. Dorotha McIntosh and leaders of the Pulaski County OK program took up the crosses in the ground that represented the lives lost in 2025 and released balloons in their memory. The group then prayed for peace and an end to the violence as we start 2026.
We definitely depend on prayer and everybody coming together and loving on one another. If you are my neighbor and I'm concerned about you, then that festers into the next person and the next person in that community, and all together we can come up with some power to stop some of this violence if we work collectively together.
McIntosh also says in late November, someone vandalized the crosses and tore down their bulletin boards, so she's looking for volunteers to fix that damage. You can visit our website for more information on how you can help.
A new program at one local elementary is helping kids plan for their futures, how it sets them up for college after the break.
Been a long time since we've seen an extended outlook that would indicate above average precipitation. But the 8 to 14-day outlook is certainly indicating that. That tells me a pattern change is on the way from dry and mild to wet. I'll have details after the break.